Hey guys, welcome to Keep It Dirty Off-Road, and I got a quick video today as we do a fix of our truck and fix a broken pulley. Well, that sucks. This broke, and that's my belt.
This is still reusable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Put some staples on it, we're good, right? All right guys, so yeah, we were actually doing a shakedown test this weekend. We've been doing a lot of them since we got the shocks replaced, the shock shafts replaced, and we found a problem with the truck. Our old tensioner broke while we were playing around on the test track. Really bummed that it happened because it's an OEM part. It shouldn't happen to an OEM part, and it did. We tried to fix it with our old part, and the belt was too compromised, and it broke. So today, I went to Ford. I got a replacement pulley, tensioner arm, and everything. It looks the same as the old one, so I'm a little worried about it, how long it's gonna last. But yeah, we're gonna get it replaced, get it done, show you guys how the process is. And for you guys that are wondering, yes, I already have the belts. I have 2 spare belts. I'm going down to 1, so I'm gonna order another belt. The problem here is the process to change the belt is a pain in the butt, so that's why we got the truck towed. Let's get in there, let's get it swapped out and get it running again. You're an ass. Hey. Now make sure you guys stay to the end of this video where we talk about what caused this and what are your options to avoid it on your supercharged truck in the future. Now before we get into the swap, let's go into what actually happened. We were at the SDI testing grounds doing some runs with the truck to see how she would handle with the new shock shafts, and here's what happened. We think we know the cause, but we'll go over that later. Well, that sucks. This fucker broke, and that's my belt. Don't let go. Good thing is I'm at the testing grounds, and I got all the stuff to fix it. So I got my son coming to bring me this, the old one we got, and we're gonna get this fixed up. Look at that. Some bullshit. Just cut it out. 3 bolts. Look at that. Well, that just happened. What the fuck? Those are way too tight. Now I need to get that pulley off because I know the part that's coming, the pulley's bad on it. So we gotta replace it. So I'm gonna see if I can take it off right here. We got the pulley swapped. I know. I gotta put everything on video. I get it. I get it.
How'd you break it?
Takes talent. Dude, to the rescue. I need one of these. Unfortunately, as you'll see, the belt was actually already compromised. A little piece was missing of it, so when we start driving it again, it just snapped and it wasn't good enough, and we had to put it on a tow truck. Unfortunately, we busted a belt. This is how my day ends. At least it happened out here and not on the trails.
And there's the old belt.
She fit though, look at that, barely. So this all happened while we were doing a shakedown, and what we did is I got my old tensioner, put a new pulley on it, and not even half a mile later, that happened. The thing is I have all the parts to fix this. You know, I already have a good pulley and tensioner. I already have a belt and everything. It's just I didn't want to do it on dirt because the new belt sucks to install on dirt. This is an OEM part. Look at that. It's got the full motor company label. It's a very cheaply made part. And I just put this in the truck not even 6 months ago because this pulley was making noise. So we ended up having to do a hybridized version with the old part to make it work. So here's the new part. Good thing was is Ford at least has a decent part warranty. It looks identical to the old one. I don't have the old one anymore, guys, because we had to turn it in. It still has the cheap ass pulley. The pulley that was on the truck was metal. This is plastic composite. Oh, look at that. The ends are sharp. That's not nice. Yeah, it doesn't have the same weight and feel as the old one. Actually, you know what? This one does feel a little bit heavier than the one we took off.
Here's the one you took off.
The one we took off didn't weigh anything out, Kristen. You're the one that was playing with it. This one feels heavier than the one we took off, huh?
Feels a little heavier.
It still has cheap components. It still has a cheap pulley, which sucks. I wish it was a metal pulley. And I am a little worried about that little edge it has on there, but yeah. All right, so let's get to it. Let's get the stools out because I'm too short for this shit. Let's get this changed out.
The evil villain.
You're not Asian. What are you doing? Are you trying to go for the freaking big old Mexican bigote?
No, thanks for just Master Shifu.
You could do the Mexican bigote too.
I don't know about
Mustache, the Mexican mustache.
I don't speak Mexican.
Shut up. You are fucking Mexican.
I mean, look it. I don't speak it.
All right, where's the belt?
Right here. But I can't take it off. My pants will fall off.
That's the belt. That's the belt I'm talking about.
Oh, that's the belt. It's a lot thicker than this one.
So a lot of you guys may be wondering why I left the gap on my bumper. You see this gap right here? There's a reason for it. And that's because when I'm working on this thing, first of all, I'm short, but I've also seen other guys work on the truck, and I need a step. And that serves as a step because you can't step on this. This is not low bearing. This is. So that's why I left the gap on it. So consider that when you do your light setup on your trucks, regardless of what you get, make sure you have a way to step onto your engine bay because you are going to need to do this on the dirt someday.
Are you okay? You think your old knees can handle that step? That's a big step. You sure you can handle that?
The other thing I recommend is blankets because this stuff hurts when you sit on it. But if you put a blanket on, you don't feel it.
Especially this. Like,
Yeah.
Come on, that's
who wants that up his... Well,
Unified standards.
no. Some of you deserve it up your butt stuff. Nobody wants it.
$200.
First, we need to take our old tensioner out. We also need to take the Roush plate. That Roush plate, that has to come off so that we can get the new belt in. While I'm doing that, boys are going to be taking off the skid plate. Fuck. Okay, so this was my temporary one, and this is going to become my backup. So this was the new pulley on the old arm. Maybe that's why it broke. I think we installed the pulley backwards.
You probably did.
So there's the similarity between the two parts. The new one feels heavier. So I think this new one follows more of this style, whereas the old one wasn't. The old one we had was way lighter than this one. So maybe we got a bad one. Let's hope that's what it was. What's the matter? No. It just keeps twisting?
Look, it's bent now.
So as we're taking the plate off, we noticed something. Supercharged cooler is leaking. So we're gonna have to fucking fix that now. God damn it, it blows. Are you making it harder for yourself?
There's someone in my way.
Who's in your way?
I don't know. This person with the phone.
Ow. Are you owing? Okay, just take that out and put it off to the side. Now, because my confidence in these parts is super low, we're going to take this as our backup. So this is the one we originally had. It's got a new pulley on it. We did put it the right way. Notice how there's a little edge on there?
I think it's right here. Put it in
I think that little edge also contributed to it cutting because we may have put this on opposite. So I think that's what caused the issue. So we're going to put this in our tool bag. This will be our backup in case it breaks again. Now, you got to put this thing on.
Oh, I see where it is.
And this part sucks because this belt has no play in it. It's super tight so that they can stay on there. Now, unfortunately, we later found out that the belt is actually a contributing factor to our issue. We got to follow that map. And it's very easy to get that wrong. So make sure you double check when you're doing this. If you have a supercharger one, very easy to get that wrong. What the hell is this? T like that. And just slowly pull it down. Wrap it around. Goes on the bottom of this. And goes over this. Goes under that. Over this. Put it on that. Bring in a loop right here. And then it's going to go around that. Does that look good?
Looks complicated.
Sure. Nope, that doesn't look right. It's not going around the engine crank correctly. Off the engine crank, it goes over here. And then it goes around the engine. Now I have it come up right here. That's what we needed.
Oh.
Okay. Christian, I need the new piece. All right. Put the loop in there. All right. Now comes the hard part. And this is the one we got to get figured out. All right. Okay. So I need you to crank on it.
Ready?
Yeah.
It's cranked.
Oh! Go as hard as you can. Hard as you can.
It's just hard.
Keep going.
I'm blocked.
Oh, fuck. You bitch. Oh. Hold on. Almost.
Do you want to be down here and I will be up there?
Sure.
That's how we did it last time.
Oh, fuck. That's the most we can go. Okay. Done.
Go.
Now to rev it.
Ah, damn it.
All right. That took us 50 minutes to do. And it sucked. This is one of the reasons why I didn't want to do it on the trails, because it sucks.
Especially doing it by yourself.
Yeah, because basically right now, the tensioner is at its full max tension because of how tight the belt is. Brand new belts are a bitch to install on this thing because they have to be tight. So that's one of the reasons. It literally can feel like it's a three-person job. At the very least, two.
Well,
or one very strong man.
One very heavy person.
One very strong man.
Heavy.
We got it done. Truck's running again.
Ish.
Yeah, ish. We're going to have to figure this out. Because what I think is going on here is this attaches to the frame. It attaches to the bumper. And the bumper, this is a weld-on bumper, and it wouldn't matter, honestly, if it was a bolt-on bumper. It moves with the frame. So when it moves with the frame, the frame's not fully rigid, and that's where that thing came from. So we're going to have to figure that out. Maybe get a new one of these. I don't know. But at least the truck's running.
It's not at 100%, but it's there.
All right, guys, so let's talk about what actually caused my issue. And it's actually twofold. The first problem being that it is a supercharged truck. I'm going over some very rough terrain, going over whoops. As the rear of the truck loses traction and gets off the ground as I'm going through whoops, the engine revs up really high. And as the truck comes back down and gets traction again, it puts a lot of pressure on the belt and on the tensioner. And if the conditions are right, it'll either snap a belt, which is very common on a supercharged truck with that off-roads, or if in the situation like I had, it'll snap the tensioner completely, and those tensioners, they're not that strong. So that's what happened to me. As I was going through whoops, truck was going from high RPMs to low RPMs as the back end was bouncing, because my back end is a little unstable. I still need to tune that back end, and it still needs some work. Even after the SVC tuning, it's just not right. It's not staying in contact with the ground like it should, and that's what caused it to snap. Now, that's not the only reason. The other reason was the belt that was on the truck was too short. Now, this is the belt that came with the truck. You guys can see the part number right here. This is a 20 millimeter belt that was 3183 millimeters long. So that's about 125 inches, a little bit somewhere around there. This belt is actually about 9-10 millimeters too short. That shortness is why it put so much pressure on that tensioner. It was already at its max tension. I did a little research, and it's always hard to find what the correct length was, because there's a lot of opinions on this subject, and there's very few facts. Roush doesn't list the exact length of their belt, so I don't know what the Roush belt is. I went to the forums, couldn't find any good info there. There's a lot of different opinions there about, oh, you got to go shorter, because shorter and tighter is better, and it means it's not going to break as often because it stretches. Unfortunately, shorter means that you're going to transfer that load to something else, and my pulleys are going out very quickly, very easily, because the belt's too short. As you guys saw, my tensioner also snapped because of it. Short is not always the answer, guys. I ended up finding a trusted source, which to me was JDM Tuners. These guys tune these Raptors. They know how to tune it for the Whipple. They know how to get more power out of the Roush. They come very well recommended. I realized that I have the wrong belt size for my pulley. Now, I still have the Roush stock pulley, which is a 75 millimeter pulley, and according to JDM, I should be running their 3,192 millimeter belt, which is this one. This is what they recommend, Gates belt. This belt was much easier to install than this one. This one is so tight that it requires almost 3 people just to get it over correctly and a lot of force. This one went on a whole lot easier, and the angle on my tensioner is not as steep. So I'm hoping this will help me avoid breaking the tensioner more often. I know that if you go to a smaller pulley, you can run a little bit tighter belt, but it's still not this short. There it is, guys. I know school of thought is always to try to go shorter on these belts, keep them tighter to avoid any issues. But while they may work on the streets, it's not going to work off-road, especially if you're going to use the truck's full capabilities and go through whoops. First time we broke the tensioner was going over whoops. The belt was compromised, so the second time we went over that same section just to make sure everything was good, and that's when it broke the belt. Whoops with a supercharger can be very destructive, guys, so make sure you guys keep that in mind. Get the correct belt size. Stop listening to the bullshit on the forums about getting shorter belts, thinking that that's going to resolve your issues. No, get the proper size belt. You have a Roush set up, keep the plate in there. For those looking for options to upgrade the tensioner, they do make a billet tensioner. Unfortunately, the Raptor specific one for the 6.2 is no longer available. The only way to get it is to get it with like a liver noise 8-rib setup, which is almost a $2,000 part. $2,000 for a billet tensioner plus 8 pulleys and all that stuff. So to me, that's not really worth the money, because my system's already 8-9 ribs, right? It already has the correct pulley sizes and everything like that. If anything, I would like to get the stronger tensioner, but unfortunately, nobody sells the tensioner individually. They do sell another version for, I think, the Mustangs, but I don't want to take that $500 risk and find out it doesn't fit my truck. Yeah, so that's the drawback, guys. So I'll put all the links below to the correct information, right? To put a link to this belt, the correct belt from JDM. It's a Gates belt, so I'll put that information there so you guys can get that. I'll put whatever I have on the billet tensioner if you guys want to do your own research, and let me know too if you guys know of any other solutions. I would love to figure out a way to make this more stable. Chewing through belts is something that's just going to be the norm with this truck. I didn't realize I'd have to be ready to chew through tensioners, but from reading a lot of feedback from people, this is the norm with a supercharged off-road truck. Got to be prepared with the right components. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I know it's a lot. Questions or comments below. Please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.
No questions. I don't want to do this again. No questions. No questions.
I'm tired.
Where'd it go?
This was a great investment. I really like it.